Michigan has fired head coach Sherrone Moore with cause for having an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. Let's get into it right here on Locked On Wolverines.
You are Locked On Wolverines, your daily podcast on the Michigan Wolverines, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Wednesday. We are back in doing it. Locked On Wolverines podcast, part of the Locked On. I don't even know. I'm so discombobulated. Locked On Wolverines podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Now the number one sports podcast. I don't want to say I didn't see this coming. We'll get into it, but I've heard some of the ramblings and things of that have been kind of going on here. But thanks to all of our everydayers. Thank you for making us your first listen. We're just going to delve right into all of this, to the Sherrone Moore stuff. So first reported by Pete Nakos on 3, Sherrone Moore is out. Michigan has promoted Biff Poggi to be the interim head coach. I should say I didn't see this coming now. I thought maybe they didn't have the evidence. So I'm not going to name the staffer. But yes, he was supposedly having an inappropriate relationship with a staffer. Why have I not reported it? All the rivals are about to say, because I don't have any evidence. And I knew people were working on the evidence. I knew Michigan was working on it, and it was going to come to some kind of fruition here. And if you want to know when the last time I said something about me being confident in the future of the program under Sherrone Moore, it would be before I found out about this around USC week. So Michigan, now without a head coach, it's late into the process. The man I would have chosen to lead the program is now at Penn State. But now it's the inopportune timing for all of this. And it's really disappointing, especially when you hear that he was having an inappropriate relationship. The memes are just going to go nuts, right? With everything. And it's an embarrassment on the program that this is something that happened. It's inexcusable. And there's a reason why you haven't heard me say any glowing things about Sherrone Moore for a while here. It's absolutely inexcusable. That is, for all the talk about being about the team, all that stuff, you know, about putting each other first, about doing the things that it takes to win. Well, you're doing things that are detrimental, not only to the team, but to the program. And that's where they're at. And now they have no choice but to go and try to figure some things out at a somewhat inopportune time. Now you can go and get a head coach, and I think that for a lot of fans, this is weirdly going to be very popular because we've been seeing people talking about wanting Sherrone gone just by virtue of what's happened on the field. Having a first-time head coach that's not leading the team the way that you would hope. But it's also coming off of signing day. It's interesting that they trotted him out there this week. That's kind of why I thought, like, okay, they clearly haven't unearthed any evidence. Because, again, I didn't have any evidence as to this. I just heard the rumblings that have been going on. And it's a real shame. I feel bad for those kids. I feel bad for his wife and his family. And but you know what? When you're put into that position of power, you just can't do what you've done. You can't. It's not just immoral, it's inexcusable. And this is one of those things where I also say, don't put a lot of make college football coaches your heroes. There's going to be a lot of people dunking on him, and while they excuse their own coach's bad behavior. So note that. But at the same time, we're talking about Sherrone Moore. We're talking about Michigan. And it's not only a terrible look, it's terrible timing. These are the types of things that can crater the program. And you hope that Michigan can get it right and can find someone that is more of a paragon of integrity. Because if you're Michigan and you want to be the, quote, leaders and best, you want to be known as the team that does things the right way, it's disappointing to know that you hired someone that absolutely made sense that you hired him, but like clearly there needed to be some more vetting that went on. And I don't know how you vet this, but I'm at somewhat of a loss for words now that this has happened, but it's beyond disappointing. It's beleaguering. It's angering. We'll eventually probably have Jack Tuttle back on the show to talk about this, but it's very disappointing to know that he put the program underneath himself and his own desires. Because, like I said, these are the types of things that can kill programs. And it comes at a time that Michigan just signed its recruiting class. My phone is blowing up off the hook. That's another distraction. But, it comes at the expense of the recruiting class, the transfer portal, all of these things. But I do know that the donors have been kind of up in arms since Washington, around the time I found out about it. So I think that plays a bit of a role. All right, we're going to keep this tight because this is a bit of a struggle here. With all of the stuff is moving really quickly here in terms of that. So let's move on, and we'll do so here in just a moment. But before we do, NFL Sundays move fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up. You can bet next touchdown scores, drives results, totals, and more. It keeps you locked in to every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your live NFL bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. I don't know if I've ever received this many texts in my life. Some of them are people who are blindsided. Some of them are from people that I was asking, like, can you find out any info on this? Now, it's all come to light. And, that's the thing about bad behavior, sinful behavior, is it tends to not stay hidden. And like we just talked about with the recruiting class, you hope that you can keep it intact. I think it helps to have Biff Poggi leading the charge as an interim going up against Texas. That might help with a bunch of other things. Makes you wonder how distracted he was in terms of getting some things, getting the team to perform at its highest potential. And you just hope that everyone can get everything kind of going on the right track. But it didn't really say anything because it didn't really sound like anything was happening. And, rumblings and, for the haters out there, you have to understand, I can't report every rumor that comes across. And just because I heard about it doesn't mean that I can say it, because, there's such things as having evidence and, libel laws and things of that nature. If I report a rumor and ends up not being true, we end up being in a world of hurt. And I had no evidence, but I had heard enough rumors and rumblings to indicate that this was a real scenario that's been going on for quite some time. So good on Michigan for moving quickly once they kind of were able to kind of find out what was happening there. Right. So that's good on Michigan. And you hope that Ward Manuel can find his next Dusty May on the football side. But it's going to be the biggest job that has been open. Obviously, Michigan's got the players, it's got the resources, it's got all of that. But shame on him, is not just for putting other players' lives and livelihoods in jeopardy, but also the coaches that don't necessarily deserve this, right? And it's an absolute shame that I mean, that's just going to be the point of this whole show is just shame. There's nothing nice I can say about this because it's selfish. And it's taking something that was built into something good and positive despite all of the cheating. And that's a different kind of cheating going on, right? It takes something that was built into something like good and somewhat stable. And I know he was kind of left a mess in the wake of the Jim Harbaugh stuff with him, kind of not filling out the rosters and all of that. But man, like just to put your own self in those shoes, to be in that spot where like Michigan's a dream job for many, right? Like there are bigger coaches than him that have pined for the Michigan job. Right. Urban Meyer had 3 dream jobs. He got to be the head coach at one of them, Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Michigan. And so there are bigger, more accomplished coaches that had that dream. And you're throwing it away and you're cratering the program. Now, you hope that the program doesn't crater, but you're putting the program in a precarious position for your own selfish goals. There's nothing good I can say about that. Right? And it's a shame that this is like, there's just been a series of people who have come through this program in recent years, whether it's him or it's Matt Weiss. It's not endemic to the program, but it does say like vetting needs to be a lot better than it's been. And it does. And not that you're able to necessarily vet like, hey, is this person like a secret creeper? Like that's hard to vet. I'm not saying like that's easy to do, but it's Michigan's supposed to be about character no matter what the rivals say. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be about doing things the right way on the field, off the field, all of the above. Sherrone's got a wife at home with multiple kids. He's just had a baby recently. And so for all of this to progress to this point and now get put out there, I mean, like that's, I feel terrible for Kelly Moore. I feel awful for her. And I've felt awful for her for some time here. I'm glad that Michigan investigated it, got to the bottom of it, and ended this charade of leadership. I'm very happy about that. I am not happy about the timing. I'm not happy about it happening after a bunch of guys put pen to paper. I'm not happy about it happening at all, right? But I'm happy that Michigan actually got the job done and now they get to move on. And you just hope that you can keep everything together in this new world of college football. And they're a little bit behind the 8 ball and they're going to have to figure out what to do from here. And we're going to have to start trying to figure out ourselves who's going to be the next person that's going to be the right person to lead this program. I mean, if Biff Poggi goes out and coaches a really good game, I know he didn't do great in Charlotte. Charlotte's a hard place to win. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him at least in an interim role for a year. Not that you want that, but while you figure things out. But I mean, there's a reason why this works for Michigan in terms of you have a first year head coach. This isn't just a scenario where Michigan is first time head coach, not first year, second year. But there's a reason why he didn't have exactly a big payout as it was. And now he doesn't get any of it. So you lost it all. And for what? And for what? That's all I got there. Where does Michigan go from here? We kind of touched on a little bit of that. Let's get to more of it here in just a moment. But before we do, let's talk about something most men don't bring up, but absolutely should. Stress from work, money, life. It doesn't just switch off at night. And when it shows up at the worst possible time, Rouge Yet Ready is designed to help you take back control. Rouge Yet Ready is a next generation prescription treatment created to support both the brain and the body so you can feel present, confident, and ready when the moment matters. Rouge Yet Ready combines 3 clinically proven ingredients in one mint that dissolves under your tongue so it absorbs fast. The science behind Rouge Yet Ready stands out 3 3 clinically proven ingredients in one formula designed for both mental and physical readiness. You connect with a board-certified doctor online, and everything ships discreetly to your door. It's easy to understand why over 150,000 men have already made the switch. Most men are ready in about 15 minutes on average, so you can stay present, confident, and in control when the moment is right. So if you've been thinking about taking the next step, now is the time. Head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnCollege. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnCollege to get 15% off your order for a limited time. Rugiet ready. Feel president. Feel present. Feel confident. Feel ready. All right, as I said, my person for Michigan just took the job at Penn State. I would have been all about Matt Campbell at this point. Been speaking discreetly to others, and that was kind of some of our other choices. And he has been kind of waiting for the Michigan job. He's got to be kicking himself. But then again, he's got a lot of guaranteed money in Happy Valley. And now he's really going to hate Michigan. But things are going to change, right? Now, you got to hope you hold on to what the good players you have, whether, you hope you can still, all the things that we've talked about kind of go out the window. All of the hey, can you bring Justice Haynes back? Maybe. Now you got to wait and see who you're going to have as the head coach. Can you hang on to Savion Hyder? Maybe. Can you hang on to Tony Alford? Right? There's a lot of stuff. The good news for it all is the way that Michigan presents itself is not people wanting to play for Sherrone Moore. Some probably. There's probably some that connected with him. And, he was a very good recruiter. He had that going for him. But maybe too good of a recruiter. But, I think Michigan does a good job about recruiting the place over the coaches. Right. I don't feel obviously there wasn't a massive drop off after winning a national championship and losing Jim Harbaugh. It actually went the opposite way. Michigan does a really good job of presenting itself as a transformational place, which it is. As someone who graduated from the University of Michigan, it is. And now they're going to have to find somebody. I don't know that who my candidates would be at this point. Because the person that I've kind of had my eyes on for 6 weeks, however long that's been, 8 weeks, about 8, I guess, learned about it right before I broke my hand. I think that's, he's off the table. So now who do you go and get? So now you got Devin Gardner saying Joe Brady. Maybe that becomes to fruition. I don't know. But things are upended. Also, got to feel bad for Kerry Combs, just moved here. Now, there were some of the rumors last week that Sherrone had, and we didn't say anything here because, again, we couldn't confirm it, that there was, that he had met with the team and said, hey, I'm under investigation. Here's the problem with why we don't report everything. Why do we keep some things close to the vest? Because I talked to 2 or 3 different people who would know, and they said that happened. And then I talked to 2 or 3 other people who would know, and they said that absolutely didn't happen. So it's hard to really know where things were with this whole thing. But now you've got to find someone. And I'm not really sure who that person's going to be because a lot of the guys that you would look at, like a John Sumrall. Now, I don't know if that would be, the right guy for Michigan. That's kind of the right guy for Florida. But, who do you get? And that's where maybe, like I said, maybe the Biff Poggi of it all would be the right way to go. For a year, what you got in him. I don't think that you've got any sexual scandals lying under the hood of his beautiful Rolls Royce SUV. I don't know that you don't have anyone else in waiting. Kind of an indictment as well on Jim Harbaugh for not having someone better as an in waiting. How did he not know the character of? I don't know. There's just a lot to not like about this. None of it's good. There's nothing coming out of this that's guess what? Here's the silver lining. The only silver lining is that the philanderer is gone. The person that felt entitled to sleep with someone that was in the building, very close to him in the building, is gone. And those are the types of things that ruin football programs. And now we got to see if Michigan can dig itself out of the hole that Sherrone Moore and really just the people who enabled this dug for him. So, all right. So many phone calls. Insane. We're going to cut it short because that's all I have to say, really. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thank you for listening. We will be back as we continue to cover this. Peace.